This is just a short snippet from the Color of Persuasion webinar about how color can impact those around you and how you can use that as a tool in the courtroom, in the boardroom, and meeting clients. Now, with this video, I just have a few colors that I am showcasing, and if you do get a virtual color analysis or the color alignment system, a full copy of the Color of Persuasion is included. I'm just going to do a few overview of some primary colors and what emotions they can evoke. The first one I want to talk about is white. Now, white is associated with innocence, purity, safety, cleanliness. It is also associated with creativity. So this is a great color to wear not only in court, but also during mediation. Anytime you need to have and implement problem-solving skills, this is just a great way to jumpstart your creativity and start thinking about out-of-the-box options for you and for your client. So this is a great color to wear for problem-solving scenarios such as mediation. Now, you can wear this with other colors such as black or red to kind of break that up and send a different message, but specifically white is associated with innocence. So this is also a really good color to advise your clients to wear if you're going to court and it's a criminal case or even a civil matter, if it's a jury trial. When people see white, it is affiliated with innocence. Now, here is a good example of the significance of color in wardrobe. This particular article was written by a psychologist, former attorney and psychologist based out of Australia. And it talks about Camille Vasquez's white suit and how that suit actually went viral after the trial. And it wasn't the brand of the suit, it was the actual color. And they were quoted in the article by saying, speaking about Vasquez and her choice of a white suit, Zahara explained, in my perspective, Vasquez shows up in all white as a very smart move to reflect innocence, and then she's on the right side of the law. She said that studies consistently demonstrate that a color of a person's clothes can influence their perceived trustworthiness and credibility. So this photo was taken from a Newsweek article, and I have the link as well at the end of this quick video. But there were several articles and different media commentary about this suit. It went viral on TikTok and I believe also Instagram. Now, yellow is another color, but I always say proceed with caution. Yellow really is a color that is associated with happiness and good times. It is an optimistic color that does help bring out creativity as well. However, it is best suited for happier occasions, such as a wedding, baby shower, maybe a holiday party or a graduation party or someone's retirement party. I would say wear it very cautionary in court. When yellow is intensified in shade, tempers can flare. Even if you're going to be letting someone go, obviously the best time to let them go is typically on a Friday, but I always let everyone know avoid wearing any type of yellow, whether it's a pale yellow, darker yellow, even like a mustard color like what we have here in this particular dress. You want to avoid wearing it because if you're going into an intense situation, it can backfire. Now, if you are going to want to use this in a courtroom scenario, I always recommend that attorneys utilize yellow when they are having to get somebody off balance a little bit, or they need them to admit to things that they haven't been admitting to, or get them to slip up. Yellow instigates our fight or flight mode mentality as human beings. It's like our caution signs are yellow for a reason because people pay more attention to them. They're thinking, oh, what's up? What's coming around the corner when they see that caution sign? But use it sparingly. I don't really recommend it for court or mediation unless it is a strategic move on your part and a strategic way of applying it. So I have two examples here on the next slide. Something as simple as a tie can make all of the difference. There are two different snips here I have. This one is from the Depp versus Heard trial. Benjamin Shue, the particular day that Amber Heard slipped up and said something about Kate Moss. This was this particular day, and as you can see here, he's wearing a very loud yellow, and there's some blue in here too, but the yellow is very prominent. This is something she had a full view of when she was being cross-examined that day. The other example here that I have of yellow in the courtroom is Wendell Butterfield. This gentleman was sitting behind Alec Murdaugh during the Alec Murdaugh trial. He was actually, I found out later, he was there for security purposes. I thought if the prosecution had placed him there on purpose, kudos to them. What a great use of color. The entire time the defense attorney was doing his closing argument, they had Alec dressed appropriately in brown and white, likability color, color of innocence with white. However, all eyes went to Wendell Butterfield. He has on a very pale yellow suit, darker yellow shirt, and there's some intense yellow in his tie, in addition to other colors. But he was actually there for security. The article that was written about him afterwards was Who Stole the Show from Alec Murdaugh. They had actually talked about that the jury came back in record time. I think it was like within an hour they came up with their verdict. When people are looking at yellow, again, it does get them stifled. It gets them a little bit irritated. So when people were looking at the defense attorney and looking at Alec Murdaugh, their eyes actually were going to Wendell Butterfield. But there was a lot to be said because the media picked up on this. When they interviewed him after the fact, he did say that he doesn't pick out his clothes that his wife does. So it wasn't something intentional. However, this is a really good example. I'm not saying they found him guilty because of that, but they did come back in record time. I mean, everybody commented on that. I figured they would come back with a guilty verdict like the next day, but it was within, I guess, under an hour or under 2 hours, something like that. So something as simplistic as a tie, utilizing yellow in court, again, you want to use it when you need to get somebody off balance, but you need to have a plan and making sure that you're wearing the right yellow, the right shade and hue for you. Now, brown is the last color I want to talk about. This is a likability, reliability, friendly color. This is also a really good color for attorneys to wear for suiting, for jury selection, voir dire as well. And there's so many different shades of brown. You have champagne, you have dark brown, you have coffee brown, you have chocolate. There's just many different ways that you can utilize brown. But the color itself is associated with reliability, stability, friendship, and approachable. I typically will wear brown when I do a keynote speech because I'm more approachable to the audience members. Sometimes they're a little bit intimidated to come up and talk to a keynote speaker, and I don't want them to feel that they can't approach me. Now, the lighter shades of brown, again, it's going to still represent that same message. So again, when you're wanting or needing people to like you to come to that resolution, this is a really good color to wear. But again, make sure you're wearing the right shades for you. And this is also a good color for speaking engagements for you, media engagements, prospective client meetings, kind of just making your client feel more comfortable, and also too for your clients in court. And again, men and women can both utilize brown. Even like here's a monochromatic way, which monochromatic is just different shades of brown, champagne, darker brown, taupe, all in this dress, or even just almost like a darker brown that almost looks black, that can look very professional. So there's lots of different ways that you can utilize brown. And again, here is another really great example of brown in the courtroom. So Depp versus Heard, this article was put in the New York Times, and it was really talking about how each client had dressed for the trial. One thing that I think really hurt Amber Heard is that she really dressed in a lot of power colors. She should have dressed in more browns, kind of like what Johnny Depp did, wearing brown, wearing like a light gray, blue, our trust building color, where she wore more power type colors with the navy, even the way that she was dressed. But this particular article showcased that. And Johnny Depp did turn up in more like the lighter browns, darker browns, which was, a good thing for him to do if you're utilizing the psychology of color. So just a few quick tips here. Using colors together properly, it's going to send a significant message, but wearing the right colors of your season can either make or break that what you're trying to do, what kind of message you're trying to send or you want people to perceive. So you want to make sure that you're wearing the colors of your season. That's also going to make you look more younger, vibrant, healthier. People are going to be focused more on what you're saying rather than what you're wearing. You can use a monochromatic color scheme which is 2 shades or more of the same color. That can project a very soothing appearance and can be very effective in situations where tensions are high, and perhaps you need to get things to calm down. Maybe mediation would be a good time to use that. Black, gray, navy blue, and brown are appropriate colors, choice colors for suiting, and these colors colors can project strength, authority, and also in some instances, depending upon what color you're utilizing, trust building and familiarity, which you may need. So seasonal color analysis, what is it and how can this help you as an attorney? So I want you to meet Nicole. Nicole is not an attorney. She is a business coach, and she came to me. She was actually really trying to get people to work with her more, she wanted to be more approachable. We determined that she's an autumn. There are 4 seasons with color analysis. If you have not had one done, there are 4 main seasons. There's autumn, summer, winter, and spring. You fall into one of those categories, and each season has their own versions of the blues, the browns, the yellows, the pinks, the purples, reds, whites, even their own shade of white and black. So when you're wearing the right colors of your season, it makes all of the difference. So all of the color psychology tips I've talked about, that's when those go into effect. Okay. So one of the things that we did when I met Nicole, we did our color analysis. We did a photo shoot, which I'm doing some photo shoots now for attorneys. She's wearing right now a kind of like a turquoise color that looks really good on her. We wanted to make sure we took plenty of photos that she could use for her website, marketing material, business cards. But this is really the biggest difference that should hit home for everyone. The colors make all the difference. Now, even though orange is a good color for an autumn to wear, they need to wear more of a warmer orange, like a pumpkin color, like an earth tone color, where this particular shade of orange, she was actually wearing this to different networking functions and, not really getting too much traction. Now, part of the reason being is because this particular orange shirt has it's too cool of a color for her. There's too much blue that's added to make it, more it would be more appropriate for a winter or a summer to wear. Whereas it really made her look tired, kind of drawn out. Your focus goes directly to her shirt. So no matter what she's saying, you're going to be focusing on that color. So it detracts from everything she's trying to do. Now, what we did is all I changed in this photo shoot is her shirt. Okay. Hair stayed the same, makeup stayed the same, but this is the power of color. So this is like a warm beige, which is a good color for an autumn. And I did change her pose a little bit to be more opening and welcoming. So when she goes out to network again, I told her, I said, this is a great color for you. She looks younger. She looks more vibrant. She looks like somebody you want to take business advice from. And it's a likable color, so it's going to attract more people to her to come up and talk to her and do more things with her. But this is the power of color. Just changing that one shirt because of the color, it made all of the difference. Everything else stayed the same. And I mean, even the hair looks better, the makeup looks better, and your eye goes directly to her. Her smile even looks brighter. So that is the power of color, of wearing the right shades of color for you. So that's why seasonal color analysis makes all the difference, and you need to do that before you start implementing color psychology in your wardrobe. So if you're ready to embark on the use of color in wardrobe, I welcome you to do our virtual color analysis or the color alignment system, whichever email or page led you to this video. You can just go back to that, and here are the links to the different articles if you're wanting to take a look at those as well, just to read a little bit further about how people really respond to color. So I hope this helps, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.